Good evening, my trues, clues aficionados, my guys and dolls, cats and kittens. I hope you're being safe out there, paying attention to life's trues, clues around you, and ready to speak on somebody's behalf. If you see something, ready to say something and get out there and do something for mankind. I hope everything is going well with you all. I hope you've been practicing self-care. It's really important to do that this year, especially at this time of year. I've been trying to do that too, but it seems like my life has become a volcano and molten lava is spewing everywhere, and I'm just running around trying to put fires out. I'm confident that this is going to change for me soon. So I'm confident if you're in the same boat that I am, you ain't going to be there long. We're going to be heading towards some smooth sailing here very soon. But with that in mind, there are some other people whose sailing hasn't been very smooth either. In fact, their trip has been much more gnarly than mine has been recently. So let's get into it now, because as you know, the game is afoot. What I want to talk about is boys and men, boys to men, men to boys. The subject is going to be sextortion. Noun, the practice of extorting money or sexual favors from someone by threatening to reveal evidence of their sexual activity. Now, this has started out slowly, but apparently it is picking up speed, speed demon. And apparently a lot of it is coming out of the Philippines, or the Philippines are getting the groove on getting this locked down and becoming the best out of it. Much like we heard about the Nigerian love scam, which has since infiltrated to the rest of the world. And, you know, all these third world countries are trying to bilk other countries that have more wealth in their eyes, or feel like they are owed something because of slavery, something crazy like that. So now with this internet in mind and all this, you know, electronic ability to be able to talk to each other, see each other, all fans type of thing, internet, porno, everybody just want to be out there doing bad if they want to make money off of somebody else's life. So with that, let's get into it. The first case I want to talk about is Jared Johns. At first, Jared Johns' death had all the contours of an all too familiar tragedy. The 24-year-old Army veteran ended his life on September 11th, 2018, leaving his twin brother to discover his body in the apartment they shared in Greenville, South Carolina. "I'm sorry I messed it up," he had written on a whiteboard. "I love you all. This is not what I wanted. Tell my sons I was a good man. Tell my sons I was a good man." And the fear and backed into the corner that this person must have felt. I mean, your twin is your closest person. To put that on your twin also, he had to be in some kind of pain, living through some kind of tragedy. Talking to John's family and friends, investigators learned that the father of two had battled depression since his own deployment to Afghanistan. A lot of people come back that way, PTSD, just depression. I mean, it's a struggle to go to war and to have to commit the acts that they want out of you, or to witness the acts that are going on. Initially, they assumed that these struggles were the cause of his death. We now know that at the time of his death, Jared was the victim of a blackmail scheme that was created by inmates in South Carolina prison. Greenville Police Chief Ken Miller announced at a Friday news conference. The scam, he said, created sufficient mental anguish to cause Jared to believe he was going to be accused of a serious crime with lifelong implications. So with that and the fear of being outed, he just decided he couldn't go on any longer. And these people, they don't care, and they seem to prey more on service people than anybody else, I guess, because they have a steady income. They've been through a lot. Maybe it's easy to find information on them as well. There's a certain type of people they look down to groom and break down. It's a lot of like pedophilism. John William Dobbins, 59, and Carl Richard Smith, 43, are now being charged with blackmail in connection with John's death, which police have linked to a massive sextortion ring that was uncovered by the Naval Criminal Investigative Service last fall, nicknamed Operation Surprise Party. The investigation found that South Carolina inmates have been using contraband cell phones to join dating sites like POF, formerly known as Plenty of Fish, and pose as attractive young women. Because just like young kids don't know, men don't know either who's on the other side. Nobody really knows, but some people are easier to manipulate than others. I'm sure that there's something going on with women as far as that goes too, because we all know about the Amanda Todd case, which shined light on this situation way back like 2012 or something like that. But anyway, it seems to be more prevalent in boys right now. The self-esteem issues involved about it. It's easy to prey on men and boys in this scenario. Not that anybody is going to, be easy prey, but it seems to be a little niche here that they're focusing on so they can get by and get their crap done. Targeting men whose profiles identify them as military personnel, the women, quotes in air quotes here, would strike up a flirtatious conversation that eventually led to an exchange of nude photographs. After sending or receiving scantily clad photos, investigators said the victims would be contacted. Between 2015 and 2018, 442 service members from the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marine Corps were conned out of more than $560,000 through the scam. The investigators found 5 inmates were indicted in November, with officials warning that more than 250 people under investigation and additional arrests would be forthcoming. Over time, however, John's parents discovered that other factors might have contributed to his untimely death. Text messages that his mother found on his phone and shared with the Greenville News showed that in the hours before he killed himself, he had been communicating with 2 people who claimed to be the parents of a 17-year-old girl, demanding that John send them $1,189. What a really odd but very specific amount, right? The alleged blackmailers accused him of soliciting male nude photographs from their underage daughter, Lies. John, seemingly bewildered, said that he had no memory of talking to the teenager. In the final text message exchange, which took place at 11:59 a.m. on September 11th, the man claiming to be the girl's father informed Johns, "She is going to the police and you are going to jail." Data from John's Apple Watch showed that his heart stopped beating just moments later at 12:03, his mother said. That's horrific. It's horrific that there's all this technicality involved in this, the internet, the photos, the phone, the Apple Watch. John's mother, Kathy Bowling, had been contacted by an informant after her son's death. That individual, he said, provided detailed information about the dating app scam and the people involved. Thank God somebody stood up and said something. Tracing the phone numbers that Johns had been texting before his death led police to Dobbins and Smith, who were both being held in South Carolina's Lee Correctional Institution at the time. Dobbins is serving a 25-year sentence for his 3rd methamphetamine possession and distribution charge, while Smith is serving 15 years for assault and aggravated robbery. So I doubt they feel any kind of remorse or shame or anything like that for having this whole extortion gang thing going on. I mean, it's a way to get money and have money on your books. So, and then you can, walk around, be swaggering and act like you own a prison, some kind of crazy shit like that. Several days in this, we're moving to a different part of the country here now. We're in a place called Bengaluru. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing this right, but anyway, it's way off the grid and it's way in a, third world country, and they still got the internet and stuff going on there. Several days after Avinash BS hanged himself at home on March 23rd, an online gang contacted his elder sister on Facebook without realizing that their victim was dead and demanded more money to ensure that a photo is not posted online or shared with friends and family. The victim's sister also learned from Avinash's friends that he had borrowed nearly rubles, I guess, 3,500 to pay off the gang that had started blackmailing him after a woman who identified herself as Nia Sharma established contact on social media and allegedly lured him into performing sexual acts on camera that were recorded. She has said that 2 days after her brother's death, a person claiming to be Nia Sharma pinged her Facebook asking if she was related to Avinash and whether she could provide his whereabouts. The sister then got suspicious since all her brother's friends were aware of his death, played along, and provided the number of his cousin. Soon, a message was received on the cousin's phone from an unknown number, threatening to send a video to Avinash's friends if a final payment of 21,000 rupees is not made, the sister's complaint states. In March, the cell busted a gang that targeted a 54-year-old businessman from Nagamala, a region rural of Bengaluru. And it was hard to find pictures on this, and I guess there's some crazy like scheme that they use to go around doing that. They have all kinds of people involved in pulling this scam on these people. And they're, as soon as they have you, they're just going to use you like a radish until they can't get anything out of you, and then burn your ass. That's what's going to happen. So this poor old man also that lived there, he was a businessman that had made several payments but turned to the police when the gang became relentless in their demands for more to prevent an alleged video from being circulated among his friends and listed on social media. And the fact of the matter is, they got their own little pyramid scheme going on that. I mean, once they get your pictures, they'll share it. And then, you can end up in a porno movie. You don't even know what's going on. You're posted on all these creepy, ugly, make your screen call sites. And they're getting money off of every, transaction that goes around on your pictures as they're sullying your reputation because you thought you met somebody and that you could take a chance and, la, 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 la. Well, I guess if you're not really comfortable having your image seen in the nude, please do remember that the internet is permanent. Anything you put out there stays out there. All of that thing about pictures disappearing. Yeah, well, what happens when somebody clicks screenshot? That shit is there forever. The Marquette County does not typically release information about suicides, but the information is being shared with the parents of 17-year-old Jordan DeMay. This one is so freaking heartbreaking. Not that they aren't all that way, but oh my God. Investigators say it is believed that Jordan was being extorted through Instagram over pictures that he had taken of himself. Jordan was put under extreme pressure by the perpetrator to pay money in exchange for the pictures not being sent to his family and Instagram followers. These events are believed to have occurred in less than 6 hours. He sent them money, Sheriff Zybert said. He did send them money. Yeah, it wasn't enough. They wanted more. Well, the thing with that, it's never going to be enough. It's always going to be more. Hours after his death, Zybert says a friend of Jordan's received one of the compromising photos. The friend contacted Jordan's parents. Jordan's parents told investigators. However, the 17-year-old's life had already come to a tragic end. Like WTF. Zybert said they had treated DeMay's death as teenage suicide at first, but then they soon changed their focus after one of the teenager's friends told police the blackmailers had contacted her as well and demanded money. I wonder how many other kids have been out there, did the same thing for the same reason, and it's been put down as a suicide because ain't nobody know what's going on with them. And they're not going to tell anybody. The whole shame of making them commit suicide isn't going to allow them to even discuss what's going on in their life. She told them he killed themselves. They said, good. Then she hung up and called police. You know, they were just reaching out to other people, all of his friends and his family, trying to get as much money as they could. They didn't give a damn. And that's, that's what this is all about. That's what these people are. You think that they have care and feelings or something like that? They don't give a damn about anybody but lining their own pockets. Detectives has concluded that DeMay was a victim of sextortion. The teenager's parents, John and Jessica DeMay, requested that the police release details of their son's death to raise awareness of sextortion. He also had a knee injury which sidelined him for almost a year, and that takes away the identity of who he is and what he did. So it was problematic to him, and I'm sure the pandemic just added on to it because this thing just went crazy during pandemic time. People were just out there doing their due, and people were out there putting a hatchet block to everybody that was out there thinking that they were out there having an innocent good time. And again, remember, the internet is permanent. Experts say suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary issue, but teens and young adults especially don't always see it that way or comprehend that. That's fine, and I understand that. But it's a black moment, like with Amanda May, that Amanda Todd, that went on for a number of years. It wasn't like, taking her out of this, situation, moving into a different place. That sextortionist followed her and started all that shit again on her. There was no way for her to get away and to feel safe or not to feel hurt. Jordan DeMay paid $300 to blackmailers after they threatened to send a nude photo to all of his social media contacts. The blackmailers had set up a fake Twitter profile posing as a girl before sending a naked photo of her to the teenager. DeMay sent a naked photo back, and the situation quickly turned to blackmail. Within 6 hours, of the blackmailers contacting him, DeMay killed himself. If you or someone you know need confidential support, call the National Suicide Prevention Line, 1-800-273-8255. Another situation, Randy K. Brasford, 15, died by suicide on March 30th back in 2016, I believe, in Potsdam, after a Facebook user threatened to extort $3,500 from him. 2 teenage suicide, 2 families seeking justice, and 2 criminal investigations because the girl around 18, Shylin Dixon, did the same thing because of the same reason. A blackmail extreme and a painful manipulation of kids. And they're not the only victim. When Riley died March 30th after taking a brief back and forth with a Facebook user threatening to extort the money from him. Following Riley's death, state police posted a warning about predatory social media behavior, users targeting children and teens with the concern of reverberating statewide. As sextortions are investigated, the agency is urging teens and parents to talk about social media, safe online activities, and seeking help. And this is going on by so many people in so many age ranges. The Halton Regional Police Service 2 District Criminal Investigators Bureau completed an investigation into a sextortion incident of a female from Oakland, Ontario. Sextortion is blackmail when when someone threatens to send a sexual image or a video of a victim, does not provide additional sexual images or payment. Basically, they want to keep you going and, get your pictures and keep using you over and over again. The more they get you to do, the worse it gets. I've heard some brutal things that are kids are inflicting upon themselves because of fear like this. And it's some of the most horrific things I've heard of. I mean, that you're doing to yourself because somebody's making you. Like, the word is shit. In July 2021, a victim shared an image with a male youth known to her. She did not grant permission for the male to save the image. Once in possession of the image, the male threatened to distribute it unless further images are provided. Ultimately, the image was shared between two responsible parties, with a second youth posting it online. On January 14, 2022, the HRPS arrested the two males responsible. A 15-year-old male from Burlington has been charged with extortion, distributing intimate image, voyeurism. A 15-year-old from Caledonia has been charged with distribute intimate image. So, with anything good in technology, it seems like it's much forward and much quicker in acceleration now as to finding a bad way to use it. I guess once the dark web was up there, Bitcoin and whatever else, people's minds are just freaking crazy over this shit. So I can only urge you to please, please, please stay safe. And I don't know, I don't even know how to give you advice on this. This used to be an innocent thing back in the day. You can flash somebody or, stick your butt out the window or something like that. But this is taken beyond that innocence of youth and being worked on people. I don't even venture to say, I'm sure, that have low self-esteem, are looking for attention and confirmation. And of course, they're swooping in there and taking advantage of these, losses that people have, or shortages, or hurts. They're good at reading the pain in people. And that's what narcissists do. I see truths, clues, aficionados in your future Mondays at 6 o'clock every Monday. Follow the crime scene clues to the perpetrator.